But fear is going to always be there, but it's about the difference to say, I accept it, but I also know that fear does not control me. I know what does control me, the things that I want and desire to create in my life, and the qualities and values that I have as a human being, to let that guide me. That what I call mission-driven behavior is that saying, okay, listen, I know what I want, I know what I have as qualities and gifts, I know what I stand for as a human being, and I'm going to act with that as my compass. A ripple effect of me being consistent and authentic with my behavior, consistent with other people, that people get influenced. So instead of allowing my environment to influence me all the time, which is fear, right? Whatever happens, I react to it. Instead, I say, listen, I know who I am, I know what I can do, I know what I want to achieve, and I'm going to go out there and start to put my own ripple effect on. I'm going to start to influence the environment in a good way. And that's the power that we have that we don't understand, is that, yeah, we don't control the reward, the result all the time, but we do control our behavior, and that's power. And it comes down to really three things, right? It's the idea that you're competent, so I'm growing and learning every day, and I keep stretching myself. The second is I'm autonomous. I have the freedom to succeed and fail. And the third is relationships. I have meaningful relationship with people that care about me, and I make a difference in their lives. And if you have those things, then you're going to be pretty motivated, pretty happy in your work or wherever you're at. The perseverance you need to persevere. You need to understand that it's not you, it's them. They're the ones in fear right now. You need to stay on mission. So
thank you, Brian. Thank you so much for being in this webinar, for taking your time in
I had a blast.
Inspiring all the people. It's always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
Thank you, my friend.
Pleasure.
I had a great time.
Of the situation, and that's why building trust is so important for the manager to trust the employees they're doing a good job.
The easy to do step as opposed to easy not to do. The easy thing in life is to say no. And what I've learned is that that's the lazy person's easy way out. I say no to something, I don't have to think about it anymore. Sometimes in life you have to challenge yourself and find a way to say yes. And I'm applauding you two boys for finding a way to say yes, because that's why we're all together to do. And this beautiful quote on kindness from Desmond Tutu: do your little bit of good where you are. It's those little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world. Now, these things are easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. And we've got to make a decision as to what outcomes we want. What do we want the world to look like? What are you going to do? What are you going to do more, better, differently? Are you prepared to get into the game and rise to the challenge?
Unstoppable in sailing, she was unstoppable. But it wasn't until Magnus Lidjedal, a gold Olympian, I'd spent 3 months sleeping out in my car, and I was still there. It was like 90 days, and the 90th morning, 5:30 in the morning, I show up to wash his boats. And he says, you are totally unstoppable. And he took a magic marker, a Sharpie, and he went over to this really old boat, and there was like a creature that was living in the bottom of it. And he said, here, you can start with this boat. You repair it and you fix it up, and you can use this boat to train in. And he wrote Unstoppable Tracy because he told me no for 90 days. And on the 90th day, he wrote Unstoppable Tracy on this boat without even knowing how it followed me everywhere. So I finally threw in the towel and said, okay, if the world wants to call me Unstoppable Tracy, but I'll only accept it if you know, world, that you are unstoppable too.
Well, I think it was the second webinar that we did that you sent me a beautiful message.
Yeah.
And it really, I would like to thank you again and tell us what that message was, because
I mean, we if you're not careful, you can fill your whole day watching one webinar after the other. But what I loved about this webinar is I started watching, and then I watched it for an hour, and then I said, come on, continue, don't stop now, because it was so interactive with the public, so interactive with the speaker, that I sent you the message, hey Maurice, I want to do the same, man, invite me. And
yeah, thank you. Tell everybody, for the people who...
We go back a long time already, Maurice, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
it's always, and also that's the focus of this webinar is human to human. How can I connect speakers and share the life lessons of speakers to behind the screen for the people at both ends of the world? How can we help them, motivate them, share the positive?
If you look at this period, I call it a tipping point. And I was already talking about that in my book, Managers Day After Tomorrow. I was already talking about we're entering the zone of the tipping point. The whole society is tipping over into a new society. And I think that what COVID-19 has done is just speeding up that tipping point. And what's happening now? Climate change, a plague, a pandemic. We had the change of an economical model, more or less the same that what's happening now. And we had quite a lot of migration, and we're going to see migration, more migration than ever before in the next coming years as well. So it's very similar to what happened in the Middle Ages. But what happened in the Middle Ages took 2-3 centuries in between the old. We went into lockdown together.
Yeah.
Because of a number of reasons. So we're living with 3 generations here at home now for 7 or 8 weeks. It's the best time of my life, to be honest. So I have really rediscovered the real stuff in life, and I'm not going to say that I'm not going to whenever I have the opportunity to start traveling again, I'm going to do that. But I'm going to do it from a different mindset and with a different purpose. I can tell you.
And we go more into the spiritual life.
Hey guys, and thank you for all the. I'm reading the messages now, and I don't know whether you can see it, but it makes me emotional. So I'm not going to cry here, but thank you very much.
That's and again, it's together. It's about together.
Hey, dreamers of the world, let's do it. Come on.
Go out of your house. So literally we are desensitizing the human being, because the power of touch, the sense of touch, is our first touch as soon as we take life. You know, when a baby is in the mother's womb, out of all the senses, it is the sense of touch which is the most intense and the most primary. When someone needs comforting, what do? We touch them, we hold them. When we want to get to know someone, what do? We touch them, we shake their hand. When you want to show affection to someone, what do? You stroke them, you caress them. If you have a dog, what do? You pet your dog. But now, we are afraid of touching anything. So it is desensitizing us. Touch is life. And therefore, it is making us more robotic, more fearful, more panicked, and less human-to-human contact and touch. So everything will change. Human behavior will change. And the way will differ. I agree with you and I disagree with you. So here's what I say. I say most people are not people. They are sheeple. You know my term, right? You know my term, sheeple, right? Most people are not people. They are sheeple. And sheeple are like sheep. They like to do what everyone else is doing. They like to do what they are told. Sheep need a shepherd. And they follow instructions. That's going to be 87% of the world. 3% of the world, 97% of the world, 3% of the world is going to be people like you mentioned. People like, if you tell me not to do something, I want to go try it. Do you follow? So I think the way to pivot on that is that you have to make your own choices about where do you fit in. Do you fit in into the 3% who are going to make sure this is a part of your life, or are you in the 97%? Which is going to be a sheeple. My advice, don't be a sheeple.
What's left for us as humans is emotions. And that fits also with what Vikas just said, touching and hugging, because we are mammals. We are just like our dogs. We like to touch other humans. We like to connect, to hug, to feel each other's energy. So it's going to be brilliant. And of course, the virus is going to go and it's going to come back. So we're going to learn to live from lockdown to lockdown. And if we are aware of the fact that we could die every day, I think quality of life, the quality of every day of your life is going to become much more important. So don't postpone too much to tomorrow or the day after or till after you're retired. Enjoy life now. Enjoy it today, because this virus could kill us all every day.
We are the authors of our own life story, and we must create a future out of choice, not by chance. We have to create a future by our own design, not by default. So come from a place of wisdom and take the actions that will create the future that you desire for yourself, because you are the author of your own life story. Yeah. We are here to help you. People like Ajit, I am here to help you. Maurice is here to help you. Reach out to us and let us help you to create the future that brings you sustainable success.